Hey everyone, it's Nick, creator and author of the Unemployer newsletter, and today I'm checking out a few different ways to generate a resume using AI. So, I'm going to compare Claude versus ChatGPT. I'm going to use Bolt. I'm going to use Enhanced CV, which is an actual resume generator. Hey everyone, it's Nick, creator and author of the Unemployer newsletter, and today I'm checking out a few different ways to generate a resume using AI. So, I'm going to compare Claude versus ChatGPT. I'm going to use Bolt. I'm going to use Enhanced CV, which is an actual resume generator. If you like the content in this video and want to learn or read more, you can do so at un-employer.com. I figured with all of the news and LinkedIn posts and Instagram posts, all of it related to tech, it all mentions AI all the time. So I figured I would add to that, but in a different way. Today, I'm going to look at resume builders, not only specific resume builders, but I'm very curious to test out what Claude can create, what ChatGPT can create. I'm going to look at what Bolt creates. If for those of you that don't know, Bolt is for like AI generated websites that you can use. And then I'm going to look at Enhanced CV. There are other tools like Teal, and there are other resume generators, but I'm just genuinely curious to see what they can do. So, what I've done is I took my beautifully simple and just typographic approach to my resume in Figma, and I made it super ugly and put it into whatchamacallit, Google. So we are going to download this as a PDF that I can upload into ChatGPT and other things. So I am going to put it here. It is titled Resume for the A1. If you are keeping up with AI stuff and memes, you might get that. If you don't, it's all good. We're all friends here. Okay, so I have my PDF resume right here. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I design my resume because I'm a designer and I'm a control freak. I don't want AI designing my resumes. However, I've never done it. So at the end of this, maybe I might. But again, this just goes to show if you aren't a designer, there are tools out there to help you, but let's just see how good those tools are. So let's start out with Claude versus ChatGPT. I've created a prompt already, just because I didn't want to create prompts during this. I've created one for Bolt as well. So for ChatGPT and Claude, it's the same. Design a visually appealing resume for a senior UX designer based on the information in the attached PDF. Now, I am technically a product designer. That's just what it's called, right? But for the sake of this, I used UX because I was hoping that it would be a little bit more contextual, and I don't want it to confuse me with a physical product designer, like someone who designs mugs or anything else, right? So let's see how this works. Resume for the A1. Resume for the A1. All right. Let's see what this puts out. If it can create some really cool 3D action figures based on people, they sure as hell better be able to create a resume. What in the F is happening? Um, turn this into a PDF file. It is a file. I don't know what the hell Claude is doing. Clearly, clearly HTML. Oh, an interactive artifact. Okay, so interesting. I didn't say to create a static document or, let's say, like a landing page, but ChatGPT went with static. They didn't even give me a document. Holy God. And Claude is still going to town creating uh, a resume using HTML and CSS. All right. Oh, okay. Wow. Download. All right, let's see what this looks like. What is it called? All right, so here is the ChatGPT one. Oh. And here is, oh my goodness. Okay, so ChatGPT basically just formatted my PDF. Objectively worse, I will say, because at least mine is clear in terms of how the information is laid out. But okay, all right, that's kind of cool to know. Don't go with ChatGPT, my friends. All right, let's look at Claude. Claude, holy cow. I mean, outside of it being ugly, uh, at least it's styled. You have a very clear header. You have specific sections. This is actually kind of neat. And this, I believe, what do you mean an interactive artifact? Wow. This is actually kind of cool. It's highlighting KPIs and metrics that I'm calling out in my sentences and my bullet points and all of that stuff. Um, Holy cow. Okay, so it didn't include the headers like the teams that I had that I was on, which is not necessary, I guess. I said that weird. But that's actually pretty neat. Added some skills. I don't even have skills on there. That's neat. I kind of like that. It separated it out into, my past roles up until 2018, and then the ones that I have less bullet points or no bullet points for, it's below. I like that. This is pretty cool. Neat. Now let's say, let's see if it'll let me download it as a PDF. What the? Okay. You cannot convert. Claude cannot convert things to a PDF. Why? Couldn't tell you. That's okay. This is still really cool. I don't know what somebody could do with it unless they were copying all of this code to export as a PDF or using some of these tools. But the clear winner is Claude. In terms of design, in terms of what I asked it to do, I guess I didn't specify. In terms of something that you could deliver to somebody, yeah, Claude wins. Done. All right, let's close that. This is my resume for the A1. Let's close that. All right, next, let's look at Bolt. Okay. So again, Bolt is kind of like Lovable. It's like a no code or vibe code way to create websites, right? So I have a prompt in here that's a little bit different, mainly because I specifically wanted this to be an interactive resume. And just again, to see how easy this is, right? You can clearly import from Figma. You can build mobile apps. You can start a blog. You can draft a presentation. So I was like, why couldn't it build a resume? So let's look at this and see what it can do. Create a landing page based on the information in the attached PDF. This resume is for a UX designer, so make it look aesthetically pleasing while maintaining legibility. Utilize modern typographic and UI elements to ensure a high quality of craft. So let's see how this does. I've used Bolt in the past to create like very, very early concepts of what I wanted the unemployer to look like. It honestly wasn't the best. None of them really were. I tried Lovable, I tried Bolt, I tried Magic Patterns. They all worked. Like if you're not a designer, like they work, they will design something that you can use. But as a designer, it just didn't meet, my needs and expectations truly. The design was kind of outdated. The colors it was using or the gradients or the imagery and the typography, it just all seemed a bit outdated. Let's see if we can preview this live. Baller. Okay, can't do that. All right, so this is generating this now. I'm very curious. So it's creating the separate paragraphs. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by what this is going to be. And maybe I'll copy what this creates and add it to my website as a sort of, just a real quick glance at my resume without needing to download it. But we'll see. These things tend to take a little bit of time, not a lot, maybe like a few minutes or so. I remember creating one of my first prompts for Magic Patterns was around the newsletter, and I think it took about 50 seconds, maybe more, to create a mildly underwhelming concept of a landing page. Lovable is much quicker, but again, creating a landing page is a lot more generic, I think, than the specific prompt that I gave it here, and also telling it to reference the document, right? So it has a little bit more to scan through. And instead of just creating some sort of like boilerplate something with all fake content, imagery, colors, all of that stuff. One thing that I think I could have done here, let's see if we can preview. Cool. Okay. One thing that I think I could have done here is maybe mentioned my brand colors. My resume right now, as you see right here, is all black and white. That is intentional. It's mainly for small file sizes and because I've been using this resume forever, because I think that the purely typographic approach to it is pretty timeless. I'm not reliant on specific colors being overused or, different layouts. One thing that I do think this does limit me on is just the amount of content I can fit on there. Again, I intentionally do not put a ton of content on my resume. I try to make it as concise as possible, mainly for scannability. But yeah, sometimes with, applicant tracking systems, that can make it a little bit difficult because I try to fit on as many bullet points as I can, and I can't always fit everything. This is not an issue. Oh. Okay. Terminal error. That's nice. That's nice. Preview. There's no way that this just happened. It's just a resume. Oh, okay. Well, I'm very curious. You know what? I'm going to start up with our next contender, which is Enhanced CV. I haven't created an account, so I hope this doesn't make me create an account, but we'll see. I haven't used Enhanced CV. I've used Teal in the past, which is another, hey, that's pretty dope, which is another resume builder and kind of like a tool that plugs into LinkedIn. Please select a template. Okay, let's select. I kind of like this one. Let's use that. So Enhanced CV is kind of like Teal. Teal is, here we go. Oh, improve with AI, missing high impact content. So I was going to title this post, Stop Relying on AI, mainly because I think people are already relying too much on it, but let's see what it does. Okay. Employer newsletter. That's pretty funny. I noticed this with a lot of like automatic resume generators. And when you're applying to jobs, specifically in Workday, and it says apply with resume, so you upload your resume and then it'll autofill information. Honestly, it takes me less time to just fill it all out manually over and over again than it does to keep using my resume to autofill information. The reason being is I don't have to comb through it and look for small errors like this, right? Um, or small errors like this, right? So the summary here reads product designer. I have 10 years of experience designing seamless user experiences for startups and businesses with millions of customers. I mean, that's great, but like, I don't know, if someone's not paying attention and they're just looking at this at a quick glance, they might think that that's okay. But when you actually apply to a job and go through an ATS, or a hiring manager or recruiters looking at your resume, you're going to get past, a lot. 90% of the time you're going to get past this. Again, the formatting was wrong. This is one word on my website, or on my resume right here. So all one word. So again, the formatting is a bit weird. However, this is a great starting point for those who are able to spend a little bit of time. So I hate that it's 2 pages. Try not to do 2 pages if you can. But this is a great starting point. I think that this has won so far. Where's Bolt? Oh, we're going to go back to that. This is winning so far in terms of being able to format and create kind of like a unique format. It added things like ratings, it added things like skills, it even turned my last name into a skill. I like that. But yeah, enhanced CV is actually pretty dope. Never used it before. I am very impressed. Not sure how others compare. All right, so let's go back to Bolt. Bolt, again, this created like a landing page. So as a non-designer, great. I have this landing page that gives me some CTAs that somebody can contact me, right? It essentially created a website for me. That's phenomenal. As a designer, this is really underwhelming. It's a pretty basic nav. These, I imagine, will scroll you down. Oh, yeah, anchor links for the win. Let's go. Okay, that's great. But I told it to use, modern typographic and UI elements, right? So underwhelming from a visual standpoint, super, super cool from a functional standpoint, where someone who is a new designer or is not a designer at all can just come in here and create their website. That's pretty dope. What is view my work? Okay. That makes sense. View my work. As a designer, again, view my work would bring me to a project where I'm showing you detailed information. But for the sake of this, that works. It adds some pretty cool micro interactions like hover states here. That's pretty cool as well. And what I really like is contact or get in touch. Just scroll you down to the contact form. So that's really cool as well. This is super dope. I am very impressed. I'm not sure what the error was in the very beginning. But yeah, I wanted to create this video because, again, I don't think people should rely on AI for everything. Like AI generated or fully AI generated resumes and cover letters are so easy to spot. AI generated writing is typically pretty basic and easy to spot. Don't get people started on M dashes. They have really strong feelings on M dashes. But yeah, I think that there are ways to utilize this. I'd say supplement your work with AI. If you don't have a design background, but you want a website, utilize tools like Bolt, absolutely, or Lovable, or Magic Patterns if you want to. And if you aren't a designer, but you want to stand out from your peers, use Enhanced CV, use Teal, use these resume generators. You may have to go in and, reformat a few things or change a few sentences, but overall, like, that's really, really cool. So I dig these tools. ChatGPT did really poorly in terms of scoring here. And I would say Bolt and Enhanced CV did the best. This is not sponsored. I don't make any money off this. In fact, I lose money on this newsletter and this website. So I got to find a way not to do that. Anyway, this has been super dope. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I know that this was mostly just me walking through these AI generated resume tools and stuff like that. So I'm gonna link the resources, the links to all of these and probably more in the post. So if you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else that I post this video, check out the link in the description and it will link to my newsletter where you can find these resources. Thank you for listening, watching, reading. Have a good day. Bye.